Oh boy, I hope I don't make it very obvious that I'm recording this update shortly after the previous video this week. Hey guys, how's it going? I was going to do an end of the year update, except I'm changing how I do these updates now. I think it might be better if we do an update ahead of time and kind of do it at the start of the year, because I feel like it's a lot easier to plan stuff at the start of the year than the end, right? I still might do the middle of the year updates, it just kind of depends, but if there's not much to update on, I feel like there might not be a point then. The middle of the year update is optional now. This one is a guarantee, pretty much. But welcome. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the update video. Took a little bit, but we're here. Don't worry. We've got a few things to discuss, because last year was a tough year. I won't lie. Last year flew by really hard. Like, I am being completely honest when I say it was May at one point, and then it was just like a snap, and all of a sudden it was December, and I was looking around like, what happened? December? It's December? Right? I was floored. But yeah, we didn't actually get too much done last year, unfortunately, which is really kind of an issue, because I wanted to do a whole lot. But we're going to fix that this year. We got a few things to discuss, such as videos. We got big projects on the way. I still have the big talks about video coming, right? That isn't just some like, oh yeah, I promise guys, it's on the way, just like I mentioned before. I've been recording it. I've literally, like, we are pretty much almost there. This is a long video, right? That is the main issue right now. This is a long video, and this is going to require some work, especially because I have to make some graphics and stuff like that for some of the sections and everything. It's going to be a while, right? And some of you may think like, oh, well, yeah, that's fine. I mean, you made the Arc 6 video. That's like 3 hours of talking about Arc 6 of ReZero. Yeah, about that. See, this talks about video might be like 4 or 5 hours long, potentially. I can't say that for a fact, but it's really fucking long already. So it might be longer than the Arc 6 video. You might have me talking about a different bunch of series all over the place, and it might be like almost the recommended amount of sleep you should get. I mean, I know that 4 or 5 hours is by all means not the recommended amount. You would probably be exhausted and tired, and that's probably also not healthy. But double that, and yeah, that's roughly the amount. I guess more so on the 4 side. If you do 5 and then double that, 10 hours ain't exactly perfect, right? That's usually if you're exhausted, then you sleep like that, right? But yeah, this is a long video. This is probably gonna be a really long video, and I'm excited to get it out. I do almost want to get it out for Valentine's Day, because the last 2 things we're going to talk about in that video, I think would be really good for that. Now, with that said, I am not absolutely aiming for Valentine's Day. That is not my, end goal of this whole thing, is absolutely then, right? My thing is, if I can get it done earlier, if the end of January comes and I'm done with that video, it's out. Right, that's it. If I'm done by the end of January or something like that, the video's out. I'll just upload it. But at the absolute latest, I want to do the 14th, which I think is Valentine's Day. I think I'm recalling that correctly. I hopefully am, and I'm not misremembering what the 14th is. I'm pretty sure that's Valentine's. I'm going to double check while I'm here in this update video, because it's an update video. Who cares? Right? I'm getting that correct, right? I don't think that's Valentine's Day. What the fuck is the 14th? Google is showing me nothing. I think it's the 14th. I don't know. I feel insane because I'm being shown nothing on my calendar. That's scary. I could be wrong with this. I might have made an embarrassment of myself, and I don't even know. And thank you, Google, for that. Not even Google, actually. It's kind of Microsoft because it's on the computer calendar. Anyways, Valentine's Day. Whenever that is. Probably the 14th, if not, whenever Valentine's Day is. However, I want to aim for earlier than that. Like I said, maybe end of January, something like that. Might even be earlier than end of January. but I want to aim for something like that. And here's why. Because 25th, I want to have our first big video of the year out, which was supposed to be the first big video of last year. The Infinite Wealth video. I want to have that out on the 25th or 26th because Pirates in Hawaii is coming out, the spin-off game to Infinite Wealth. I feel like that's a relevant time to post that video. I'm not one for being like, oh, relevant time, I gotta post it then. But at the same time, if that's coming out at the same time, I feel like that's fitting, right? So, absolutely, that is like the date I want to aim for with that and everything. I think that should be good, right? That'll be interesting. All that sort of shit should be fun, right? To have out at the same time. Of course, like I said, I did want to get it out last year. The problem was, last year, first of all, it took me a while to get back to Infinite Wealth. I was so busy with all sorts of shit. Like, legitimately, there was so much fucking going on all at once that I could not get back to it for so long. I'm sure if you saw some of the ReZero reviews, you heard me mention, like, yeah, hey, apologies for not getting a lot out. There's just a lot of shit going on, right? And again, I won't lie, that like week or two after Toriyama passed and everything, I don't know the guy personally, right? And he won't ever really know me. But the fact that he essentially is responsible for the reason that I wanted to write and draw and all that sort of stuff kind of had some very heavy significance, on top of the fact that, you know, Dragon Ball was my first series in terms of anime and stuff like that I ever experienced. So I think it's fair that, you know, for a week or two I was just completely distraught in that regard. But yeah, last year was kind of rough with that, and I wanted to have the Infinite Wealth video out, and it was just not going to work. There was so much shit going on that it was just not going to happen. But this year, absolutely, I want to get that out, right? I have a whole list of big videos we're going to try and get out, right? And I have a general schedule for how I'm going to do this, because I think when I was doing stuff last year, I was writing the last 2 arcs of ADT, right? And I think I didn't have a perfect balance for that. I think now I have a general idea for what I'm going to do. I was just like, okay, I can balance this well. I can get video scripts done easily, right? I mean, I'm going to get some done ahead of time before I even get back to ADT, but I can get this stuff easily done, recorded, edited, all this, while also working on ADT. Right? I can put my focus into both and not feel like I'm overdoing myself at any point. All that sort of shit. That should be great, right? All sorts of fun videos on the way in that regard. I've got a lot of big stuff I want to try and do this year. And in some sense, like, I'm glad I waited, because there's some videos in there that it's like, oh, okay, good, I have more to discuss now that, you know, more time has passed and everything. So, should be fun with that and all, like, everything. I don't know what I'm trying to say there. Just should be fun. That's about it for videos and all that. Now, in regards to stuff like that, streams, right? Streaming and all that sort of stuff. We have some fun stuff that I want to get done this year. Me and my brother were doing Persona 5 and Yakuza, like, side by side, right? I was doing Persona 5, he's doing Kiwami, right? And we're just like playing alongside. I'm experiencing Persona for the first time, he's experiencing the Yakuza series for the first time. He chose Kiwami as the first one, right? I gave him the choice of Zero and Kiwami because I think it's fair to start from either or, right? It's entirely up to you in terms of what you start with, because think about it, there's people that started with Yakuza 4 and stuff like that, right? It's not out of the question to say, oh, start with this game or whatever it may be, right? You experience it one way, you experience it one way, it's whatever, right? So he chose that. We're going with that for him first. I'm going with Persona 5 because it's the most simple to get into, and then we'll go from there, right? We'll go in reverse for me. Ace Attorney is something we want to get done this year. We want to go through a whole marathon of all of that, every single game, right? Mainly the mainline sort of stuff, right? Everything in the mainline, so the like 6 games in there, so right, all that sort of stuff. That's something we're hopefully going to start this year. There's a lot to do for that, but we'll get there. We'll get there. And yeah, I mean, I do always want to get back to the Nuzlocke if and when I can, right? We'll see about that. I just kind of have to have time because we're doing, you know, ADT, video projects, other streams, right? So it'll be hard to balance that in there, but maybe if I have time, maybe. And of course, some more casual streams, I wouldn't mind doing it all. I do want to actually do some drawing streams, some more chilled out drawing streams. Maybe I'll do ADT characters, maybe I'll take requests, maybe we'll just draw characters from different series that I just enjoy, that sort of thing. I'm open to all those ideas. Probably will do them, just for fun, whatever it may be. Maybe I'll be making illustrations for ADT. That could be interesting, right? And speaking of streams, let's talk about the end of the year Rumble, right? Arnold's back. You know, we now have reverted back to the original sort of Rumble / tournament. And now I gotta think of a new name for this year's, because I usually like to do a different name with this sort of thing. Like we had like, oh, Arnold's Grand Tournament of Power Revengeance, you know, that sort of stuff, like, and everything. I always like to have something unique in there, which I put Revengeance in there because, yeah, Rising, right, like Metal Gear Rising. But also the previous tournament before that was Revenge, so I decided to just put that in there for fun. But yeah, now I gotta think of something new with that. Not much to say, because it's gonna be a while till then. It's like December that we're gonna be doing that. But I'm bringing this up because I have something fun to essentially mention about it. I've mentioned it in my community tab. I mentioned it on last year's end of the year Rumble, right? But we have a brand new poll for the Rumbles where people like you get to vote who you want to see in there. We're going to be doing a female Rumble. We're going to be doing a male Rumble, just like we did 2 years ago. And you get to vote who gets to be in. We're voting between 15 and 30 characters, so we have a lot of variety in the vote, and essentially there's a lot of choice. Characters will keep their vote and everything. There's a lot you can read on it. If you want to see it, feel free to click the card here and it'll show you the link and everything you can go to. You'll have a whole description there that'll explain everything, right? That'll take you through the steps on what's going on, how all this works. We're going to be adding characters, I will say, monthly, right? I'm going to try for every month to add unique characters to that. It might not be every month, but I will make announcements when they get added. I will put them in the community tab, so be sure to check out the community tab when you want to know if, like, oh, somebody brand new was added to the list and everything. I'm trying to have like 2 or 3 entries per series, maybe not 2 or 3, but more so 1 or 2, right? Like 1's obvious, but then 2 is like, oh yeah, I want to have some variety in there between the characters, so here's 2, here's 2, here's 2, and if I can only really do 1, I do 1, right? Over time, might add more, we'll see, right? I already have a few written down that I want to add soon, but, you know, we'll get there when we get there. We gotta get there by the end of the month, all that, and it's still a while till then. We still got half the month to go. So, that is something. Be sure to check it out. It should be fun. I'll be essentially recommending it for every single video because I just want people to know about it. And, you know, feel free to, like, just vote, because I feel like this gets more and more people interested, and this can get a lot of people excited for the end of the year Rumble. Like, you have input now, right? All you have to do is just vote for a bare minimum of 15 characters, which I know there's not a lot right now, but again, we'll be updating it, and, you know, we'll have a shit ton by the end. And then, yeah, come like November, we'll just have a shit ton ready, and, you know, I'll put the top entries in. Boom, there we go. And also all of the runner-ups from previous Rumbles will be in there and everything. Obvious things like that. Alright, cool. Now, ADT. I feel like it's appropriate to talk about that. It's a very important thing to me, and also kind of to the channel, and I mentioned I'll be talking about it throughout the, you know, updates and all that sort of stuff and everything. So, here's my update for ADT. This is being posted the same week as the video where I talk about it, so you should probably know that I don't actually have much to share, to essentially share about Act 2. However, I do have some things, right? There's going to be teasers, like I mentioned, but they'll be happening close to the date of when Act 2 starts. Now, when will Act 2 start? Well, I can't exactly tell you for certain. I mean, I know the date I want to go with, but I can't say that for a fact. However, keep this hush-hush, alright? But I do know that I want to do it on a very specific date. Now, if you're interested in knowing when, I recommend you search through the series for when specific dates are mentioned. There might be one of a particular character that should be of note. Now think about the fact that we might be starting soon, and you might know when. Now I can't say how soon, right? You might think it's a little too soon, right? So you gotta be cautious of that. But if you can guess it correctly, maybe you'll know when we're back. And maybe you'll know when those teasers start. Got it? Alright, the teasers will start a week before then. Understand? Cool. Alright, let's go from there, alright? Shh. Don't let people know about that. Okay, keep it secret. But yeah, I don't have much to talk about in terms of Act 2 right now. Been doing some fun sketches with it and everything. Nothing too much. We'll go there when we get there, you know? I always like to say that. I've been saying that a lot lately. It's kind of interesting. I was almost going to say, but yeah, again, but I kind of realized like that'd be, you know, a little redundant because I just said it. So, that's about it for the ADT part, and technically speaking, the update in general. I actually don't have too much to say with this update because I really just wanted to fill you guys in with what was going on, right? Big videos on the way, of course. I have a different way I'm going to treat, you know, how we're going about with the channel and everything, and all sorts of stuff, right? I would love to do potential Q&A stuff for ADT. I will mention that, you know, maybe some like SBS sort of stuff, like, oh, I get questions about characters and I might answer them, or whatever it may be. I mean, spoilery questions I might be very vague on, but I'd love to do that sort of thing potentially. Obviously, I want to make art for my other videos, stuff like that, and you might actually see a lot more of that with this year. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for this year, you guys see a lot more art, which is videos in general, right? Maybe some of the ReZero reviews, maybe some of the actual big videos, you know, all that sort of stuff. Just all that in there. Some beautiful pieces, right? That's what I'm hoping for. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. There's a lot to do this year. And I am very thankful that everyone's kind of just so patient with me. I know it's not anything big to ask. There's countless YouTubers out there, so waiting on one isn't necessarily like that big of a deal. But it means a lot to me, right? Speaking as somebody who, I guess at one point in time, you know, focused on quantity over quality with my videos, and got the same thing back in a certain sense, you know, that you would expect, of just like, oh yeah, people are here for one very specific thing, and if you try to move away from that, you don't get much in return, right? It's not surprising that it ended up like that. So in a certain sense, I'm thankful that I learned from my mistakes with that sort of thing, and then also, you know, people are willing to stick around and see what I have in store, and always does make me feel great when some of the other videos on the channel are watched and everything, because it's like, yeah, you know what, I'm happy people like this. Even if it's people brand new to the channel and they get to experience a video or two, that's cool with me. I'm cool with that. Anyways, that's about it, friends. So take care. Have yourselves a great day, great night, whatever it may be. It could be February, you know, for all I know. It could be Valentine's Day, which I still don't remember the date on. I'm pretty sure it's the 14th. I hope I'm really not getting that wrong. But, you know, who knows? Regardless, have a great time, peeps. Be safe. That's it, really. Just have fun out there. Have a good night, peeps.